Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And today I'm really excited to be throwing my hat in the ring. I've created a new VR. I have no idea if anyone is going to follow the trend and do it along with me or not, but I woke up with it in the middle of the night, and it's called #It's a Mood. And I tend to be, my sense of humor tends to be irreverent, with a lot of sass, maybe a little sarcasm from time to time, although I try to tone down the sarcasm a bit. And this just came to me, some of these, sort of quippy little prompts. And let's get to it and just have some fun and explore the different moods that we go through and the different card decks that can walk you through it. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, our first prompt is a deck for when your ex gets engaged and you're pretending to be fine but aren't. And this one was really easy to choose for me. This is the Mood deck. And this is a fairly new deck in my collection, one that I've really been enjoying getting to know. And it's been out for a couple of years now, but it came to me in an eBay purchase that I made where I bought 21 different decks, random decks in this box. And this was one of them. It's an indie production, a disgustingly relatable tarot deck by Natalie Meraki. And it just makes me giggle and laugh every single time. So kind of a plastic paper stock. So definitely I would say waterproof, although I'm not testing it out. And when you find out that your ex gets engaged and you're pretending that you're fine with it, but you're really not, this is definitely a deck that's going to help you through that because, we have all sorts of feels. We're feeling sorry for ourselves in the moment. We're feeling angry. We're feeling, why me? What was wrong with me? Why am I not engaged? All the different things that we go through in our mind's eye. And this is just so sassy and irreverent that it helps you to express what it is that you're really saying, because this deck doesn't hold back. So this is the Hermit card. Retreat yourself. Oh, look, another rabbit hole. Is that fucking Russia? It's the two of wands. As you can see, it just doesn't hold back. Let's have a party. Okay, but don't try to les out with us like last time, Heather. It's just so snippy. Crazy Town is the moon. This road trip is going to be an absolute shit show. Yeah, it's going to be crayfish. Ugh. Like, it just really fits the mood, right? I mean, that's exactly how you're feeling when you're just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's this deck. Reverse. One human's enlightenment is another human's piss. See, you can't help but laugh when you're working with this particular deck. You just can't help but laugh. Just watering down this vodka for your own health. Yeah, heathen. Yeah, angels are here. I gotta say, it's brilliant. We'll go through a couple more just because it's fun. It's all fun and sex games until you have to pee. I already have 3 damn crybabies. Get that thing away from me. So you can be saying, this is what my ex's new partner is going to be saying in a couple of years, and maybe take a little comfort or consolation in that. Happiness and shiz. Mom, mommy, mom, mama, mom. Yeah, love kids. Yep. All right, one more. Oh, this is precious. Rich dicks be like. So you can even say that about your ex, right? Like, oh my God, the stingiest SOB that I've ever met. So yes, Mood is definitely the deck that I go to when I'm having a crisis like this. When your ex gets engaged and you're pretending to be fine, but you're really not. Mood helps you to shift that shit up and not take life so seriously, and to, be able to know, why your ex is in the first place. So focus on that. All right, the next prompt is a deck you reach for when you're ready to burn it all down, but need to know if you should actually light the match. This one, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have so much anger and rage. Like, it's real. It's legit. It's a real thing. So I chose two decks to discuss today. The first one with that is the Fallen Angel Oracle cards. This is from Nigel Suckling. I'm not sure. This has been out for a really long time. I'm not sure how popular this one was. This came out at a time when I was just starting my tarot journey. Of course, it's got a really beautiful box. I'm not even sure who the publisher is of this. Oh, Chico or Chico Books. So this deck I have kind of a love-hate relationship with, just because like the concept of a fallen angel kind of freaked me out at first. I really had a difficult time. I actually had a kind of a weird psychic experience with a being that I thought I called it my dark angel, because I was trying to be like, just because it shows up in a darker color doesn't mean it's bad. And not saying that that is the case, but it just led me down a dark path. So the Fallen Angel Oracle cards is definitely kind of that love-hate. But when we're talking about that, okay, I am ready to go postal. I am ready to shut all this shit down. I come to this deck because it helps to give me, I like to say, a checkup from the neck up, right? So the cardstock is a little bit larger, a little bit taller lengthwise than a traditional tarot. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a sheen, not too bad. It is I want to say a US Games, maybe a little less than that quality cardstock. But here, when you have the imagery and you're looking at the imagery, you feel the rage, you feel the frustration, you feel the anger. Aim, upheaval. So I'll just read, because this is definitely one that I don't read it intuitively, even though you can, because it comes up with a keyword. But this will just give you an idea. So this is the element of water, the planet of Venus. Turbulence threatens to erupt into your life, but it could bring benefits in the end. Aim's totem beasts are the cat and the serpent, both symbolizing mystical knowledge. Cats are the eyes on earth of the Egyptian goddess Bast. Aim is a fiery angel with two bright stars on his brow. He is often seen in visions riding a great serpent and bearing a firebrand with which he sets raging fire to castles and cities. He can bestow fierce intelligence on humans, which they use to transform the world. They tend to do so brutally, though, leaving behind a trail of destruction and mayhem, which others have to clear up. Card motto is upheaval. So I'll just go through a couple of the imagery here. But as you can see, it gets right to the point, right to the heart of things. Epos 16, caution. So if I want to burn that shit down and I pull up the caution card, I'm like, okay, I need to regroup. I need to rethink this, right? Maybe I should phone a friend, see what's actually going on, get a little checkup from the neck up. Kaim, disputation. Sabnok, discretion. Alloser, 64, vigilance. So the imagery itself expresses how I'm feeling in those moments, and the messaging really gives me resolution, right? Here's our Valak, resolution. Really gives me that space to understand what's going on. Shax, danger of loss. I love the swan here. So yes, this is definitely a card deck, the Fallen Angels Oracle from Nigel Suckling, that I really lean into when I am struggling big time, when I am literally ready to set fire to whatever I got going on, whether it's a relationship or my own life or you name it, whatever it is. And that deck always really gives me clarity. And in fact, it's usually only in those times that I actually work with that card deck. I don't often work with that deck on a regular basis. It doesn't call to me unless I'm really pissed. And then the second deck, I've shown this on my channel before, but it's the Kali Oracle. Ferocious grace and supreme protection with the wild divine mother. I mean, like, it's almost too on the nose, right? It's almost too obvious. But this one, definitely, when I am ready to burn shit down and people are pissing me off and I'm like, I'm done. Like, this is ridiculous. This is the deck that I go to. And I don't use, I don't read it intuitively. I definitely use the guidebook for this. Simply because Alana Fairchild, she's incredible. This is a Blue Angel deck. She's amazing at writing a novel and really addressing all of the issues that you could possibly imagine. So she gives you a shorter message on what the card means. Then she goes into, like a kind of a little essay. Maybe some of it is channeled as well. Then she has an invocation ritual or a prayer, and you do the ritual and you complete the ritual and you get to the other side of it. So when I really am pissed and I'm struggling with my own feelings and emotions, and let me tell you guys, I am non-confrontational. I do not I prefer to be happiness and joy and excitement and empowerment and all the things and the stuff. And if I could be that way 24/7, I absolutely would be. I want to say I'm that way maybe like 18 hours of the day, and the rest of the time, or maybe I should say, on average, that is like I'm an 85% that person and maybe a 15% the bullshit gets to me and I can't take it, right? So this is definitely a deck that speaks to that. I mean, look at this, Durga Kalika. Like, you can't work with this deck without having the ability to face your rage, to face your anger, to face your frustration, and to, I want to say, sometimes dance with it. And I feel like that's what this deck does for me, is it allows me to dance with my anger and rage, but it also gives me, I want to say, a lot of clarity in maybe why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and understanding the spiritual component of things. Also, she pulls no punches, and sometimes she's like, yeah, you need to tear this shit down. You need to burn it to the ground. You need to kick this person's ass out, because they're not really serving your highest and best. So it really is a, this deck is what I like to say, like a come to Jesus moment, and sometimes it connects me with myself, the parts of myself that I'm ignoring. And sometimes it really helps me to see the problem that I'm having with the other person or the other situation or the other issue, and allows me to step in that way. And like, the imagery is so beautiful, like, you can't go wrong with Blue Angel. First of all, look at the colors. I mean, it's just gorgeous. The quality of the cards is stellar. I mean, you've got nice quality, thick cardstock, matte finish, rose petal finish, just absolute quality. I'll show you the backs of them here as well. So yeah, it's a mood. When I am in that space, this is definitely a deck that I go to. And unlike the Fallen Angels deck, this one comes out a lot more. I don't know if it's that I just feel more comfortable with her because I work with Kali on a regular basis, or if the messaging is more practical. I feel like the other deck is very like I said, the keywords and then getting the kind of the messaging behind it. It's a little more to the point. This allows me to go deeper into why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. All right, our next prompt: a deck you shuffle when your comfort wine and chocolate just aren't cutting it. And this is a deck that I have shown on my channel numerous times, so I won't spend a ton of time on it, but this is the Crystal Visions Tarot. I always say I just realized fairly recently, I always say the author's last name wrong. I say Jennifer Giacoso, but it's Geloso or something like that, so I apologize in advance. But Crystal Visions has been out for a really long time. I think it was first published in 2011. This is a deck that literally gives me everything I need. Even when I'm in a shitty mood, it makes me smile. There's just so much joy that comes in this deck. And it makes sense that it is still a highly popular, highly sought after deck. So it's a U.S. Games cardstock. I apologize, I don't have a box. I keep it in a bag because I take it with me wherever I go. I mean, just look at the beautiful artwork here. It is reversible. It just it's fantastic. So we'll just kind of go through a little bit of this. But yeah, when the wine and the chocolate and the comfort food and the comfort stuff is not working, this is where I go. Because even when I'm looking at the cards, the images themselves speak to me and say everything's going to be okay, even when the chips are down, even when there's something really rough that you're dealing with. It's still gentle. Like let's just look at the death card here. The colors are gentle. Even death itself, the angel, is gentle. You can see that they're taking their time. They're being soft and comforting and considerate, and it's not, evil and tearing you down. There's love here. Seven of Swords, same thing here. Yeah, you won, but at what cost? And you're looking off and you're thinking about that, right? So there's so much reflection, I feel, that comes through the images and the characters. Ace of Swords, absolutely beautiful. The Chariot, yeah, feeling very empowered, moving, going somewhere, but also being a little battle weary, going through the battle. So acknowledging that, yeah, there's something difficult that you've come through, but you've come through it, or you're moving through it now. Eight of Pentacles, yeah, it's work, but she's doing it in an environment that she likes. She's getting lost in the rhythm of the work, and it doesn't feel like work. It's the mastery of her creations. The Sun card, you have the baby and the horse, and the horse is young even, and so there's youthfulness and butterflies, and the whole thing. The Fool is empowering just in its own right. Ace of Pentacles. Here, even the Ten of Swords, yes, there's blood, not so fun, but there's something gentle about this. She doesn't look tortured. She just looks like, okay, I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I'm ready to move on. And there's, light that is happening now, that the storm is clearing away. And so there's going to be something new on the other side of it. Nine of Cups. I mean, she's blowing fairy bubbles, right? Like it's so gorgeous. So yes, when the comfort wine and chocolate doesn't work, the Crystal Visions always does. And I know I've showed it on this channel before, 1,000,001 times before, but I'm going to say to you, I'm going to just keep showing it because it is a deck that bears being seen. Even though it is quite a few years old now, I want to say it is a mainstay in my life for sure. Okay, the next one is a deck to pull when you're teetering on the edge of something new and need that little shove from spirit. So I immediately, when I came up with this prompt, I immediately thought of the Sacred Creators Oracle, 100%. And this is Chris Ann. So this is, she has 4 more decks, I think. So of course we know the Light Seers. That's, I want to say, the one that probably has really put her on the map. And then she's, had other creations. That deck and this one speak to me. And I almost want to say to you, with the Light Seers, I love that deck. I love Light Seers. We're going to see it a little bit later on in this video. But this is the one that speaks to me the most. And so when we are talking about when I'm teetering on the edge of something and I really need that butt kick, I need that boost of bravery or that shot of encouragement, this is the deck that gives it to me every single time. So this is a Hay House printing, and it's got a beautiful, very thick, very comprehensive guidebook. And I don't work with this deck without the guidebook, although I can. The messaging on the cards is very clear and concise. But if you want to go further, it has journal prompts and things of that nature. And I just love her writing style. Her writing style, similar to me, she's a bit irreverent. She just calls it like she sees it. She's got a really good approach to life. And of course, it is I want to say, even though it's a Hay House, it feels like a US Games cardstock. It's the same style. It is reversible in the back if that's something that you want to do. And she does have reversed messages in here as well. So you can absolutely do the reversal. So like the sacred flow of yes. The imagery is really simple. The messages are simple, but they're straightforward. Integrate your knowing. External validation. So whenever I have an idea, I remember many years ago, like 3 years ago now, 4 years ago now, I created not one, but 2 memberships, and limitations inspire innovations. And I had put my heart and soul into these memberships, and really felt the inspiration to do them and all the rest of it. And they just did not fly. They did not land. Change maker, make waves. And I was devastated, and I didn't understand. I was connecting with my guides, and I'm like, but I followed everything you said. I even waited. Like, I didn't bulldoze like I normally do. And I need to know what I'm supposed to do. Like, is this the calm before the good storm? Is this I'm supposed to be done with this? Fierce serenity. And this was the deck that helped me to work through that rise, and to understand that it was part of the creative process, but that I needed to shut it down, that perhaps it'll come back later, perhaps in the same form, perhaps in something different. Nourish the sacred feminine. But this was the card deck that helped me to kind of not feel sorry for myself about it, to not beat myself up about it, and to not be so angry with source about the outcome of what transpired. Collaboration of souls. It also has gotten me through a lot of those times, success and transformation, where, being in business for myself, doing this for 12 years now, we're going on 13 years. There's been a lot of shift and change. There's been the muse. There's been a lot of questioning around, can I trust this person? Is it the right time to bring a new person onto the team? Is it time to get rid of it? Do I need this anymore? Like, all of the things and the stuff. And this is the deck that gets me there every single time. So whenever I have to make a big leap on something, this is the deck that kind of basically empowers me to do it, gives me the energy to move forward. All right, the next one is a deck for when you've asked 37 people for advice and still have no clue what to do. Oh, raise your hand if you can relate. I know I can. That happens to me all the freaking time, which is why I came up with that. I was like, yeah, when you ask so many freaking people and you still don't know where to go, and you don't really know what the next step is, this is the way to do it. So this is Tarot of the Holy Spectrum by James Voorhees. I believe I'm getting that name correctly. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. He's an independent creator. The card stock is spectacular. The quality is unmatched. I like that he chose the black background. So obviously, no problems with reversals. It is not a rose petal finish, but very matte black. And just check out this imagery. So I find this deck, I have a few decks where I'll go to it and I just want clarity. I want the honest to goodness answer, like right now, without having to look at anything other than the picture, the imagery. I have a few decks like that, but this is the one that really lands it for me. And I think a lot of it is the colors. And the colors I'm a color person, and I would say to you that this color palette isn't consistently my favorite, but I feel like it rubs me the wrong way sometimes, in a good way. It's not going to give me the guidance that I want. It's going to give me the guidance and the message that I need. And sometimes with that, that contrast, that rubbing the wrong way, if I'm trying to talk myself in and out of something, or I ask, 5 people and each person has a different viewpoint on it, and I feel even more confused than I did before, this is the deck that I go to, because there's no question, right? Like, it's so clear, it's so obvious, it's so in your face what it is that you need to do, and the messaging is always so accurate and apropos to the situation. I've brought the most batshit crazy questions to this deck, like questions that, like, is that a question you should even be consulting the tarot on? Like, how are you even going to get a message around that? And it comes through every single time. So yeah, it rubs me the wrong way. It's not my favorite imagery, and yet I'm drawn to it because we have a relationship. This is like the best therapist you could possibly imagine is the one that questions you. Doesn't just sit and listen and say, oh, I'm sorry that you went through that, or how do you feel about that? This is the therapist who says, all right, so let's take a look at why you said such a shitty thing. Let's talk about that. Not saying you're a shitty person, but yeah, you said a shitty thing. Let's figure out where you were at in that situation. What was your trigger, or what was your motivation? What did you really want to get out of that situation? Like, that's what this deck does. And I feel like, quite frankly, we all need a deck like this. And it might not be the deck that you work with every day. I certainly do not work with this deck every day. But I want to say I work with this deck, how would I put this, more often than I'd like to. That's how I'm going to put that. So yeah, when you have asked 37 people and you still have no freaking idea what to do, that is the deck to go with. We also have another prompt that makes me giggle and laugh because, OMG, my producer Keone gets so mad at me when I speak Mercury retrograde. But I mean, the bottom line is, yeah, we are in Mercury retrograde for a third of the year every year, and it's hell sometimes, right? So this is a deck you pull when Mercury retrograde is eating your life alive and you just need a sanity check. And drum roll, please, in pops the Lightseers Tarot. There are a couple that could have fit this bill, but this is the one that I really do go to a lot when I need the sanity check. I need to just know what the hell is going on. Yeah, High Priestess. I mean, this is my card. Like, this is the me all over the place. So whenever this card comes up, it really is an invitation for me to go within and to figure out what it is that I'm trying to avoid or I'm not honoring within myself that I need to. I love this Hierophant because this Hierophant is very much that energy of happiness and joy, and you don't have to, I want to say, have all of the wisdom and knowledge in order to align, in order to step into that energy in that space. I love the colors in this deck. Of course, this deck has been around for a long time, so a lot of you already know, but it's like an excellent cardstock. Not so great in terms of like humidity, like the cardstock does bend a little bit. I would say this is a deck that I will probably get a couple of copies of just in case. When one starts to get a little too rough around the edges, I've got another one to go to. Check out this Devil card. I mean, like, yes, this is how Mercury retrograde feels all the time, is who's fucking with me now? Like, what now? What now am I going to have to deal with? This is my ultimate Four of Swords favorite card across the board in all decks that I have, and I have over 300 decks. So this is definitely like, it brings me such comfort, such support. We've been through a lot, she and I. We have been through a lot. I love the aces. This Ace of Wands in particular is just breathtaking. So yeah, when Mercury retrograde is throwing a tantrum and doing its thing, and I don't know where the fark I'm going or what the fark I'm supposed to do, Lightseers to the rescue, because it's just very, clear, concise, direct, lets me know exactly what the issue is. It's Rider-Waite-Smith based for sure. But with that modern feel, it always gives me a sense of, okay, I'm in this world too. I identify as a star seed, so sometimes the things that sort of transpire my ultimate favorite death card as well, throughout all tarot decks. I sometimes can feel really disconnected from the world, and then when Mercury retrograde hits, it's just like an extra insult to my own life and my own plans, and I just feel sorry for myself sometimes. And then I pull this deck out and I'm like, all right, no, you are in the world and you are having this experience, and so is everybody else. So pick up your bootstraps, hoist them up. I'm going to give you a little comfort, but I'm also going to give you a pathway out, and you'll get through this until the next time we see you in the next quarter of the or third of the year that we're going to pop up. All right, 2 more prompts. A deck you pull when you're feeling yourself and want the cards to confirm the main event. Absolutely loving this, and I feel, I have an extra deck that I pulled, and I don't know now. Okay, well, anyway, sorry, I digress. Squirrel. So this is when you're feeling yourself. This is the Soul Sparkle Tarot. I've also featured this a lot on my in my other videos, so you guys have probably seen this a couple of times. But for those of you who are new to me, I bet you are really going to enjoy this deck. I got this deck on Etsy. It's called the Niveus or Niveus Soul Sparkle Tarot. They have a couple of different versions. You can get it in bordered in black as well as bordered in white. It is exceptional card stock, card quality. It is a traditional tarot card sized, very thick card stock, really great quality. The sparkle and the sheen on these decks just makes me so happy. We have a beautiful guidebook that it comes with. Everything is in color. I actually don't use the guidebook because the card images speak to me so deeply. But yeah, when I am feeling really good, when I'm excited, when I've got something fun to do for that day, because I do pull cards for myself every day. And I'm just, sort of checking in on how am I going to feel with this environment or that thing, or I'm really excited to launch something, or I finished, my own tarot deck. This was the card deck that I pulled out to celebrate, to pull some cards to figure out, what's coming up as a result. Here's Queen of Cups, Ace of Swords. I love the Bejewel Bedazzle of this card deck. I love the imagery. It's definitely RWS inspired, but it has its own story. And I love a deck that uses that model, but manages to create its own story on the other side of it. I think that's just really incredible. Here's the Emperor. This Emperor is not mean at all. This Emperor is very much embodying, I want to say, all of those higher aspects of that divine masculine, being a balanced, healthy divine masculine energy, helping a situation, not hurting it. Here we have the Seven of Wands. Just the colors, the fact that there's this Bejewel Bedazzle on every single card. I love the font. I'm usually not a huge fan of bordered cards, but the border is stunning. It just sets the tone and sets off all the images just perfectly. Here's Justice. Yeah. So when I'm feeling myself and I'm really excited about something, or I'm, looking forward to seeing how one of my projects is going to turn out, this is definitely the deck that I connect with in order to figure all of that out. So that's that Soul Sparkle Tarot. I mean, the box is beautiful. Everything about this deck is just stunning. When they created this, they did it right. And it's one of those decks that took me by surprise, and it kind of changed my life. So I'm very happy about that. And our final card prompt for today is a deck for when you are done. Like phone on airplane mode, don't talk to me unless it's wine done. And I'm going to say to you, I've got 2 card decks for this. One is the Four Tails Tarot, and this is Taroteca. This is just a fabulous book. It's a fabulous deck. It's designed like a hardcover book in a library. It is solid. Taroteca does not do guidebooks, so it's just strictly the cards. And the Four Tails Tarot is basically four different styles of the major arcana. So you don't have any minor arcana in this deck at all. You just have those 88 cards of the Fool through to the World card and four different styles. So I've also featured this on my on other videos. I'm just going to see if I can find the other card back so you can see them for contrast. Here it is. So they have four different styles. These are not in any order. So we have a black and white, happens to be a temperance. Here's a different style with the Hermit card. So different colors, different features. Here's the Moon, a little more, I want to say like gamification kind of energy. And here we have the Judgment card, more collage-y, a lot more busy work in the imagery. So when I am like done, stick a fork in me, and you like don't talk to me unless you've got wine and some really good food at the door. You just leave yourself at the door. This is definitely a deck that calls to me. And it's fabulous cardstock. It is that rose petal finish. There isn't a whole lot of glare. It is bordered in black, so it fits that mood when we get into that mood, when things are a real struggle. And the fact that there are four different approaches to each card says that I might pull all four of the same card out and with the same prompt, with the same question. And I'm going to get a different message, different guidance throughout that every single time. And you know, when I am really in that mood of I've had all I can stand and I can't stand no more, this deck, I'm going to say to you, it gives me comfort, not in the obvious ways, but it gives me comfort in that I'm a warrior on the inside and I can fight whatever this is going on too. So it's like it encourages that warrior within me to come out and to say, I don't have to put up with this crap if I don't want to. Like, I can be empowered to change my destiny. I can be empowered to make a different choice in this experience. I'll just show you a couple more here. And I just love that the concept is so unique. And I love that the imagery really is, pulls no punches. You know, like look at the Death card. So you've got the Pope or the Hierophant coming to greet him. And the skeleton is like, you know, the Death is like, okay, we're ready. Let's get this done. You know, you're not you're old, but your philosophies are not serving you anymore. You're stuck in limited belief or limiting belief. And we need to, you know, remove that limiting belief from you. Here we have a beautiful Temperance card, and she's a little cartoonish, which makes you maybe receive a bit of temperance with a lighthearted approach. Here we have a Chariot. This definitely feels like victory, but victory from a battle. The Lover's card, that light that is shining over one another, is absolutely stunning. Justice. Justice is blind, and she's still fighting us, right? Here's a contrast, a pair of contrast here with the Chariot, the black and white. This looks menacing. There's very much that battle ready. You're still in the thick of things. This has a little more of that triumphant energy that's coming through. You know, here's a Tower. You know, four people falling out of the tower. Yeah, here's a beautiful image of the Empress. So yeah, this deck gives me comfort because it awakens the badass goddess energy or badass warrior energy within me and wakes me up, right? It says, if you don't like something, change it. You know, like, yeah, you're done with the rest of life and the rest of the world, and you're going to come to these moments again. So what are you going to do about it in the now? So that's that Four Tails Tarot. And the other deck that I chose for this is my favorite, Rage Create, Sweet Ass Affirmations. This is Affirmations 2. They have a They have a first deck out, which, believe it or not, after all these years, I still haven't bothered to get. It's been on my Amazon wish list for, I don't know, like 3 years or something. When I saw these, again, I have an irreverent sense of humor, got a little bit of the sass. I have no problems dropping an F-bomb from time to time, probably too often. And when I saw these affirmation cards, I was like, oh my God, you're singing my song. You're speaking my language. So these are just great. I am authentically and unapologetically me. This is actually a tame one. Let's just read the back and see. When others tell you how you should act or feel, they disrespect your ability to write your own story, to play in your own game, to be the creator of your own creations. We all do it to each other. Playfully judo chop the external goon squads who try to shape your story to fit their molds, but also don't try to force others to fit your mold. We are all perfect just as we are. We all deserve the respect to complete our own missions. Always be authentically and apologetically you. I love that it's an ass kick from the universe. I choose love. I try on all shapes, sizes, and colors. The magnitude of my power is always in the now. There are some that are really funny. I am a contagious fireball of laughter and joy everywhere I go. My gut is the captain of my intuition mission. As I align my habits, decisions, and actions with my dreams, my creative ideas become real things. I release my urge to force happenings. I surrender to my flow. By honoring my suffering, I restore my awareness. I can't believe we're not hitting some of the really irreverent ones. Because I work for the universe, my retirement plan is lit. That one's funny. I believe in miracles because I am a miracle. I put the brakes on the social media shakes and connect my vision to the stars. Death is my homie. Death is divine. I drink libations of high vibrations. By pumping my action muscle, I make hesitation my bitch. There you go. Now we got one that's a little fun. I replace all sorrow with lighthearted fun. My mind is King Kong strong, and I am even stronger. So this deck just really keeps me lighthearted. And I love the messaging in the, sort of in the back, on the back of the cards, because it really, it's not only sets the tone, but it gives you an action step to take, and it allows you to not take life so seriously. And I think that's so important. I piece in and out and all things in between. So of course we've got the bundle of sage. I am fucking made for this. Yeah, this is just great. I love that they swear, because for me, this is real. This is real. This is how I talk. So when there's a deck that's speaking to me in my language, I am a very, very happy girl. So yeah, guys, that is our It's a Mood VR. And I would be honored and humbled if you guys wanted to do your own VR with hashtag It's a Mood. And please at me, the Black Feather Intuitive. I would love to watch your videos. Would love to see that. I'm going to make sure I put the prompts in the description below so that you guys have these prompts and you can follow along with them. I hope you enjoyed this. I always love connecting with you guys and sharing all of this. I love this community of tarot and oracle enthusiasts. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And until next time, we will see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.